then starting without a plan is always way much more fun, because then we just kind of piece it together and go, oh my God, yeah, that was really awesome. Let's do that.
Yep,
So
that's how I like to do most things.
just YOLO it all.
Yes.
Let's see what happens. All right. So to fill everybody back in, we're gonna have to do this really carefully, because I realize we've talked about this a lot, but we haven't talked about this with people, and so people aren't always going to know what we're referring to.
Yeah.
So for anybody listening, if this is the part 2, this is what happened while Rachel was away learning to be a big bench presser in Norway. It does really help to go back through and listen to part 1, because she raises, we talk about some issues that I think just about every Australian that's ever done anything seriously goes through at some point, and that's imposter syndrome. We talked about strategies and a whole bunch of stuff, and a little bit of your story, Rachel. And so what I want to do here is make sure we give heaps and heaps of room for you to tell the rest of the story, because it's a super cool story. And the goal is to try and unpack as much of it as possible, I think. And along the way, I might see if I can map some of it to the flow cycle for you, so you can see why some things that just had to happen that way, and sort of almost better happening that way. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can do that. So, there's I don't know how to screen share on. Here we go. I'm gonna screen share, just quick. There's where we can't find what I want to look onto. Window. No, we're gonna miss out on that. So we're gonna describe it.
Okay.
You sent me a picture the other day showing you
Yeah.
the comparison between you at your last competition,
Yes.
and you at this competition in Norway. So I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to start with that first pick. Can you try and
Yep.
describe yourself in it, and orient people with what you were doing and what was going on at the time?
So the best, and this is actually how I've been described by other people when they have seen pictures of me competing, and respectfully, dead behind the eyes. So I looked like, I don't know, physically I was not there. I was not in my body whatsoever. Just very stressed out, living in my head, probably going through a bunch of anxious and unhinged thoughts, like we talked about in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably been 1 or 2 photos of me actually smiling at a powerlifting competition, and that's after I've actually finished the day or finished the lift, never during. And the after photo that I showed you was actually before my last attempt. And I just thought that was amazing to have a photo of me smiling before an attempt.
Yep.
That kind of showed that I was just happy to be there. I wasn't there because I had a goal to achieve, and my enjoyment of that day and that experience was dependent upon whether or not I achieved that goal. It was just, I guess, being present in that moment and enjoying the experience, which is something that actually was my goal, was to just enjoy the experience. And it's something that you can't fake. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to measure, but yeah, that's how I chose to measure, I guess, whether I achieved that goal or not. Was, yeah, looking back at those photos and comparing the first one, just dead behind the eyes. Yeah, just, I don't even know what I was looking at. Kind of just staring off into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Probably that's how I look most of the time when I'm at the gym, and people always say I look very unapproachable. But yeah, to then smiling, happy, enjoying it, that's, yeah, how it ended up.
I want to ask you a little bit more about that picture one, because yeah, you look real serious. That's for sure. I
Yeah.
had a few other people. I showed the picture to a few other people in my life, and they're not all powerlifters, and they're not, and several of them aren't gym goers. And I asked them, they're from the professional fields that I used to be involved in. Let's just put it loosely like that. I said, "What do you see here?" And this isn't to call you out or make you feel bad, but every single person said fear,
Yes.
just pure fear, absolute terror.
Probably accurate. Yeah, I set in that particular photo that I sent for that comp. It was my first time competing as a 63 kilo lifter, so I dropped a weight class. First time having to do an acute cut, and I'd set myself some massive goals. So I wanted to hit 100 GL points. I wanted to hit a certain total. Like all of this expectation and pressure and the fear of not achieving those goals, I think was what was weighing on me the most. Um, and I don't think that the goals were unrealistic or unachievable, but I think the fixation that I had on achieving them actually kind of stopped me from getting there because I had so much stress, and we know the impact that stress has on the body and then the impacts that has on performance. Whereas with bench, I went in with no performance related goals. I just went in wanting to enjoy the experience, and I actually performed. I equaled my comp best, and prior to that, at the last competition, the previous photo we talked about, I only benched 80 kilos. So we added 7.5 kilos to that in like 2 months.
Yeah, we might. I'm gonna write that down. We'll circle back to that. Whether you actually got stronger or not, or and maybe we look at start looking at strength in a slightly different context. Because it was it. Did you get 7.5 kilos stronger, or were you able to access something that was always there, and we're just finding different avenues to access that kind of strength?
Yeah, I definitely think it was the latter. I had hit a lot higher numbers in training prior to the competition where I only benched 80. And I think that definitely was a limiting factor, was just the fear that was getting in the way of allowing me to actually execute. Um, I guess in training, you don't go in, well, usually I don't go in with that much fear that I have in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like makes sense to me, like why I was able to hit more in training than on the platform in that competition.
Let's talk about meaning, and what sort of meaning you give to those to those goals, especially the numbers goals. Because you're right, they're achievable. There's nothing insane about them. Like people have lifted those numbers before, they will again. They're very well within what you can foreseeably do, especially over the next year or two. So, what was the meaning that you attached to achieving those goals? Because I think that's where people start to get a little bit swirly, because the goal itself is not a bad goal. It's
Mm,
always the story that we're telling about the goal and whether that can match up with a reasonable expectation or not.
yeah. And I think in my like recent recap that I put up of what the number actually meant to me, after the competition that I just did at Bench Worlds, the number didn't really mean anything. It wasn't the number that I celebrated, but before the competition, the number I think represented, um, I think it was almost like an ego thing. Like I felt like I put in all this work and all this time and effort, and I'd stressed out so much, and I felt like I deserved to hit that number, like I expected that of myself. And I felt like if I didn't achieve that number, then I was like letting myself down in a way, or letting my coach down, which is so silly when you say it out loud. Again, unhinged thoughts. But but I think that was a way of measuring, like, and this is a very unhealthy attitude which I wouldn't encourage, but I think before that was my way of perceiving my worth as a lifter, perceiving whether like I was successful or not. Like it was attached to like how I perceived myself in a negative way. Whereas now I perceive myself, or I'm trying to perceive myself more as just like the type of lifter I am. Did I go out there? Did I do my best? Did I have fun?
Mm-hmm. Interesting that you use the word deserved.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about the. This always sounds mean the first few times you hear it. I thought it sounded hilarious, and I got the joke straight away the first time I heard it. One of my mentors, Dr. Eric Cobb, who created Z Health, he said everybody has the body they deserve.
Yeah.
And I thought that, and I just laughed, and I go, "Oh, that's really mean and hilarious and cool all at the same time." And he said, "Why are you laughing?" And I go, "Because I'm really fat." Um, there's no excuse. Like everybody gets what they deserve.
Yes.
And so I think that we can put these weird little twists in there. Uh, what I take from the saying, you get what, everybody gets the result they deserve. It's not a mean thing. It's just that the math adds up.
Yeah.
And given that everything we do as humans, it's a construction, and movement is no different. It's constructed from what we have already done before and assembled in real time using these amazing 4D maps that we have in our brains. And so if the pieces are there, they can be assembled that way. So we kind of deserve it. It's not, 1 + 1 didn't suddenly add up to 7. Like
Yeah.
the math is math, and is what I always take from it.
Mm.
But it can be, the mean way is, oh, you deserve that, is as in you got a shitty result, and no. I don't think that's what that means. However, when we talk about the word deserve, we tend to use it as a punishment word in Australia, don't we?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So then the question has to be, what did you think you deserved after all that effort? All the training effort you put in, what do you deserve?
I feel like yeah, I thought that because I had, achieved X, Y, and Z in the gym, I deserved to be able to express that on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so what do you actually deserve?
I deserve to do what I enjoy doing, to have pride in what I do. Yeah, that's mainly it, I guess. Just to enjoy it and have fun and be proud of, I guess, the work that you put into it, not necessarily the outcome that comes from it or the results.
So I guess that brings us around again to intrinsic versus extrinsic reward, and I know we had a lot of conversations about that in the lead up to Norway and in Norway itself. What have you learnt now about the value of self feedback, intrinsic reward, intrinsic motivation, all those kind of things?
Um, I've focused a lot on, I guess, just acknowledging that. I can probably tell it best through a story. So,
Go for it.
actually, just coming back, prior to Bench Worlds, I had a bit of a flare up in my back, and yeah, so I stopped benching. I stopped squatting for two weeks leading up to Bench Worlds, and then obviously in Norway, I didn't train while I was over there. I just wanted to enjoy a bit of a holiday, a bit of a break. So it had been like 3 to 4 weeks since I'd started squatting. Came back from Norway, decided to get back into training, had some squats, and my back felt cooked. So, and I had an SBD day. I started with squats because that was first on my program. And yeah, my back just didn't feel good. I got through the squats okay. I was happy with how the squats moved, but I went to deadlift. And I love deadlifts. Deadlift's my favorite lift. And they just didn't feel good. They didn't move good. And I feel like I would have packed up and gone home had I've not learned the lessons that I've learned now. But I guess I just kind of listened to my body, and I rewarded myself by just like dropping the weight back, doing what made my body feel good. Same with bench. Bench also didn't feel good after squats because my back was angry. I was programmed, I think, 70 kilos for reps,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't. Well, I could have done that, and I probably previously would have just pushed through it, even though it hurt my back. But instead, I just did completely flat back, feet up, just did 60 kilos for a few reps. And I guess I was just intrinsically proud of myself for sticking
Mm-hmm.
through the session, being sensible and not being like, I have a tendency to be very stubborn. And the program said 70, so I'm going to do 70, even though it hurts and it's probably going to like push my injury further. And I actually walked away from the session, and I'm trying to actually acknowledge myself when I do things that I'm proud of.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually did. I came home and I told my partner, Jordan, I was like, I had a really shit session. Like, my body didn't feel good, but I just did what I could, and like I'm happy with it. And yeah, like that could have been a session where I came home and I was like, that was a shit session, you know, like, and I could have just left straight after the squats, but I stayed, I did what I could, and yeah, like I acknowledged that and I was proud of it.
How did you change your mind about that?
I guess I just kind of realized that I'm I powerlift because I enjoy it, and that it's kind of silly to like let one training session that doesn't go your way ruin your whole day when
Mm-hmm.
I hope that I'm powerlifting for a long time, and I've been powerlifting long enough that I know that one bad session doesn't mean that like my entire progress is ruined, and like you know I know that
Yeah.
it's like, and I went back in the next day, and I just gauged how things were feeling in warm up, and everything was kind of back to normal. So you know I didn't freak out. I didn't, and it would have been completely unnecessary if I did, because, like I said, I went back in the next session and everything felt normal again.
Mm-hmm. What's the meaning that you attach to both workouts, and how's that changed?
To like
So
the one
what?
that,
Yeah. What does the bad? What does the bad workout mean?
um, I didn't even really perceive it as a bad workout. Like I just kind of saw it as like, my body's trying to tell me something. Perhaps
Yeah.
I'm trying to rush in,
There we
and
go.
like I need to listen to it and ease my way back into training. I haven't squat for 4 weeks. I can't expect to go back right where I was, after not squatting for 4 weeks. It takes time to build back up and to get my body used to that again. So
I'm really happy you said that. I was really
yeah,
kind of fishing for that word in there. That the barbell is just a feedback. That a bench press doesn't feel good or bad. A bench press has no feelings. It doesn't feel anything at all. Same with a squat or a deadlift. We feel different though, and
yeah,
we attach meaning to how we're feeling. And all that squat bar did was give you feedback on this is how it feels to not squat for a month, to go hiking through Norway, and to do a whole lot of international travel. This is how your body feels once you do that.
yes,
It's being honest and really truthful for you, and that's what I love about this perspective shift of what you're going. That
yeah.
it's just feedback now.
And also, I feel like the bar doesn't know how much weight is on. Like your body
Mm,
doesn't know how much weight is on the bar. You just move the weight.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just you moving.
It doesn't matter if it's 60 kilos or if it's 70 kilos. Like movement is movement.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It'll feel heavy some days. It'll not feel as heavy other days. It's just data.
Yeah, it's just feedback. So there's no. I love the one. There's no failure. There's only feedback. So that way there's no good workouts, no bad workouts. There's no under or overshoot. There is just what you are today when you put that bar on your back.
Yep.
And that's why I love. That's why I share that Henry Rollins essay with you and Quinny and a couple others. The 200 pounds is always 200 pounds. It's just going to tell you how you are today. This is
Yeah.
where you're at today. Nothing else. It doesn't have an ego about it. There's no. It's not personal. It's just
Yeah.
this is what your body feels like when you fly for 30 hours,
Yeah.
having done as much hiking as what you did after bench world,
Yeah.
right? It's
And the
it,
200 pounds also doesn't care. Like if you hit 200 pounds the week before, like it,
nah,
you don't deserve it.
yeah,
It is what it is. You get it or you don't. Like
yep,
yeah, it's feedback. It's data. That's it.
yep.
There's
200
no need
pounds
to
doesn't care.
attach. Yeah,
Yeah,
so much like feeling is attached to like what really is just a simple sport. Like it's just squat, bench, deadlift, and like when you think about like how much stress we put on ourselves over those three things, like
right.
yeah,
All right. So let's see where we go from here. There's so many little bits of the story. What's the part of the story that you enjoy telling the most now? Now that you've had all this really awesome processing time and
yeah.
you process it solo while hiking in one of the most beautiful spots on the planet, and then using social media to get some reflection and insight as well. Where is the meat in the story for you now?
For me, it's what the advice that you gave me after I walked out of the warm-up room, or I guess you directed me out of the warm-up room. So I'd just seen the like the flight was posted with everyone's warm-ups, with everyone's openers, and I saw my name right at the top. I had the smallest opener. The second highest attempt was my planned third attempt, and I just all of a sudden, like, you know, started feeling really shit about myself. And I was like, why am I here? Just all those unhinged thoughts. And the advice that you gave me really stuck with me. And it was about my family and the people who were supporting me back home, and also the people that were like in Norway supporting me, like my teammates. I think I listen back and all I can hear is Quinny's voice, like just shouting, like that was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, also just, you know, you asked me what they said just before I left, and you know, they said they loved me and that they were proud of me, and then you said that, you know, they would love me and they would be proud of me if I, you know, no matter what I benched, no matter how I did in this competition, they will always love me and they will always be proud of me. And yeah, that I think gave me a lot of perspective to, yeah, allow me to take some pressure off myself, that, you know, if they can love me and they can be proud of me, then I should love myself and be proud of myself for where I am as well. So that was probably, yeah, the highlight for me was that advice, and that's something that will stick with me forever.
Cool. That
Yeah.
is really cool. Yeah, I remember asking you who's going to be watching right now, and do you remember who the first person you said was? Because this is really cool for me as a parent.
Was it my mom?
Your mum, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first place you went, which was,
Yeah.
which when we like, if we start trying to flatten this out a bit, make it a little bit more nerdy, our greatest performances are when everything lines up emotionally, that our values, all of our belief systems, they all come together as one. And so when you said, yeah, my mum's watching,
Yeah.
that's the key. That's awesome. It's not my gym's watching, because
Yeah.
gym people come and go. But when you go, yeah, my mum and my fiance, and you're like, oh right, okay, so the two relationships that aren't going anywhere ever,
Yeah.
right? That you have to kill those people to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And even then, they haunt you. They're still around. So that's that deep commitment, the deep embodiment, and that allows anyone. And this is beyond powerlifting now as well. You know, if you're going to do your ATAR exams this year, or you got anything hard doing, when we start lining up all of those really key things, then hard things become doable. And so for me, that was really cool hearing you go, yeah, my mom's watching and she's really
Yeah.
proud of me. She told me she loves me and that she's really proud that I'm here.
Yeah. And it was just like, it was, I think, 2 o'clock in the morning, Australian time, when I was actually competing. Like, she took the day off work because she wanted to stay up and watch. They all had like green and gold lanyards that they'd bought. Like, that just, yeah. Seeing that, because she sent me the photo of my mum, my dad, my fiance, and my dog all had a little green and gold, yeah, little green and gold lanyard on. And like that just, I don't know, just seeing that, yeah, really just aligned all of my emotions and everything. And yeah, made me realize that having the lightest opener in my flight really wasn't, you know, in the scheme of things, you know, as I guess horrible as I initially thought it was.
All right, let's see if we can do a little bit of a break here. I'm going to try and map a lot of your experience to the flow cycle, because um, we talked about, how much I like talking about flow and how important I think it is to just about everything. And we've got that struggle, release, flow, and then active recovery. In terms of active recovery, going touring in Norway, going hiking and doing all that kind of stuff, brilliant way to do active recovery. So everyone that did that, well done, awesome, kicking goals there. But for you in the struggle phase, and this is where I think most athletes or most people in general make huge mistakes with struggling, we end up struggling against ourselves. We're taught so many different tools to either distract ourselves, to redirect attention, to argue against our thoughts. Like cognitive behavioral therapy always sounds like you're just arguing with yourself. You're challenging your beliefs, you're doing this, but it's always fight. There's always There's always resistance. There's always effort. And there's always that grit about it. And it feels hard to get rid of. I'm going to put forward that if you just had have tried to knuckle down, be tough, be brave, push the tears aside. Oh, I'm not crying. I'm a big, tough power lifter. All right. I reckon you go 1 for 3.
Yeah. And I think that gives a better perspective of what the first image looked like.
Yep.
Yeah. And I did
Yeah.
go 1 for 3.
Yeah. And it sort of, brings up this idea that powerlifters, or I'm thinking about rugby players and footballers and field sport athletes, that they're meant to be aggressive. And I've never believed in that. Even when I was an aggressive rugby player, I didn't think aggression was the way to go. I think the expression you have in the second picture, what if you had to put one word to that, what would it be? If the first one is fear, what do you think the second one is?
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just free of any fear or pressure or expectation. Yep. Just completely in the moment.
It's borderline joyful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Confident?
Yeah, I did feel confident. And bench is never a lift where I have felt confident. Like deadlift, maybe sometimes the ego comes out, but never for bench until that day.
Yeah, see, I think that's where confidence and arrogance diverge. It's that ego part. So where did your confidence come from? What were you confident in?
I guess I just felt like I was strong. Yeah,
Yes.
I guess
yes,
it came from comparison, like comparing to like other people, and I guess what the average was considered.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I did a deadlift only competition, I feel like maybe my name wouldn't have been right at the top of the list, because I do compare myself a lot to others, or I feel like everyone does.
It's one of the ways we try to establish value, isn't it? That I'm very valuable because I'm better than 5 other people at doing something that I think is cool.
Yes.
So that confident image of you no longer looked like somebody that was in struggle.
Yeah.
You jump beyond struggle. The struggle is always trying to take whatever feeling or thought or idea is in your head and replace it with anything else. And so the more we struggle, and we know this when we map the flow cycle out at scale, is that the more we fight in struggle, we just kind of flip ourselves back around and we cycle through struggle over and over and over again, and eventually that leads to some kind of burnout. And you're right, it is fear inducing. Like it's just, and that's the neurobiology of the struggle. Really, we're making things so gritty and so awful that it gets to that peak discomfort. What you do next with that discomfort is really determines what happens in terms of result.
Yeah.
Because if we try and push away, we just kick back into struggle and do another lap.
Yeah.
What you did and what I thought was so great was you just gone, oh yeah, I really feel like shit.
Yeah.
And I think in that particular moment, crying and just like messy crying like you did, there was a wet patch and a stain on my side afterwards.
I'm sorry.
It's not the first time that's happened in a powerlifting comp, and it definitely won't be the last. But I think that catharsis that comes from, I can't escape this. This is what I'm feeling. I really am scared. I really do feel terrible. And allowing yourself to be overwhelmed by the moment, I think, is the most honest and authentic response you can have to that moment. That's the release.
Yeah.
If you can, because I think you're going to have really strong memories of this, describe how your body felt when you were trying to stop yourself from crying versus how did you feel afterwards?
So when I was trying to stop myself from crying, I was trying to look around the room and find something that I guess distracted me, because I was at the competition, like everything I saw was reminding me of the competition. If I was looking at the other people warming up in front of me, I was like, it just reminded me like that's going to be you soon. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
be out there. You're going to like, and it I guess gave a soundboard for me to actually visualize all the things that I was afraid of. So I guess afterwards, I like we went outside of the gym, removed myself from that situation. I think that helped a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I couldn't actually visualize so clearly and vividly the environment where I perceived that I was going to fail. Um, then I guess when I came in, I'll be honest, like there was definitely still a bit of fear there, but it didn't feel so consuming. I think that little bit of fear was actually like a good thing, like a positive fear like an adrenaline kind of thing, and that
More of a, see if I can put
controllable.
with controllable, and it felt focusing.
Yes, yeah,
It's right. Okay, I'm scared. I really need to work through what I'm going to do next.
yeah. But I didn't feel like it was something that I couldn't handle. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
before, it felt like this is too much. I can't handle this. I'm gonna
Overwhelmed.
try and like I don't know. I think I was kind of trying to like teleport somewhere else. I don't know. But then when I came back, like there was still some fear there, and I think it's important for people to know that there's probably always going to be some fear there. It doesn't just go away, but
The,
it becomes easier to deal with.
yeah, the fear's fun. Like
Yeah.
after a while, like yeah, yeah, I like searching for it. I always I didn't I didn't enjoy it the first time I ever felt it. I enjoyed it a lot by the end of my career. Like really love it. It's fun because it's reminding you that you're about to do something that is right on your edge.
Yeah.
That you're about to do something that most people don't do, and you're going to apply yourself to a task in a way that most people never bother to apply themselves to anything. So you're doing something special. So you should have that, that kind of that adrenaline feeling, the excitement,
Yeah.
the surge of cortisol and sugar in the bloodstream. Going, all right, I'm getting ready to do something awesome, and I really have to switch on.
Yeah. It's because you care about what you're doing. Like if you're anxious
Yeah,
about something, you actually give a shit about what you're doing, and that's a good thing. If I was, I would
absolutely.
be worried if I walked up to my first international competition and I felt completely calm and relaxed. Like I would be
So,
worried
meh.
because like where is the fun in that? Like I always enjoy, and that's what makes it so special when you look back and you're like, that was terrifying. Like I flew like halfway across the world by myself and competed internationally for the first time, and it scared me, and like I had a great experience, and that's I think the fear that I guess you experience leading up to it makes it more enjoyable when you actually overcome that fear, and that's what builds the kind of person that you are, and it builds your perspective of yourself. And yeah, like I think I view myself in a lot more positive light than I did before, and that's something I was struggling with before. So yeah,
Hmm. I like the way that you went into immediately. That went into your experiences. That you're that I can hear the shift all the time now in the way you talk, because you go, well, this is what I've done. Like I flew here, I did this thing, I did this hard thing, I've done this many days training. So yeah, here we go. Of course I'm confident. I know what I did to get here. And that's the weird thing about the terrible thing about comparison is when we compare ourselves to others, we don't know what that person has been through to get there. Like that girl that is 15 kilos ahead of you on the bench press. Maybe she went through such a massive ordeal when she was young, and she learned how to overcome that 10 years ago. And so she's had this 10 years of bliss where she's got things figured out. Um, we don't know, and we compare ourselves to this fictionalized account of how that person got there, because we go, well, we didn't see the effort, so it must have been no effort. So the correct amount of effort to get here should be next to none, right?
Mm.
That's what, if we actually said that out loud, we would hear how inane that is,
Yeah,
how utterly stupid that is. But we go, well, I had to work hard to get here, so maybe I'm not as good as these other people that didn't really have to work that hard. And obviously that's absolutely nuts. But going back to again that second picture, the confident, the free picture. Um, when you say free, what does free feel like to you?
Just free to be in the moment. I was free of all of the thoughts that usually go through my head on competition day, all of the pressure that I put on myself on competition day. Um, yeah, I was just able to actually experience it. Like I don't like I've competed like I don't know 12 to 15 times, but I don't think I've actually been at a powerlifting competition that I've experienced. Like I've physically I was there, but like you know,
But this time you were
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, so the experience became autotelic.
yeah. I learned that word recently.
Yeah, there we go. I've been on a mission for about since I think 2009 to try and get people saying the word autotelic. I go, what's autotelic? It means that something is just good to do because it's good to do. Um, I put things like charitable donations, helping an old lady cross the road, or just doing nice things. Why do you
Mm,
do them? Well, they're just nice to do. Like they're just good things to do. Like do
yeah,
pick up litter, do the right thing. I think a bench press for me is autotelic. Why do you bench press? He goes, man, have you bench pressed before? It's awesome. You should
yeah,
just do it all the time. So that's that autotelic experience. We're no longer doing something to get something else.
yes,
And I think the validation that we try and get from powerlifting is often our biggest opponent to getting into flow and getting that maximum performance. Because
hmm
when we're trying to bench something to make ourselves feel better, or to justify spending so much money on training clothes, or to justify why I just spent an inordinate, why did I just buy $50 pizza in Norway? Like that's, why do I have to justify this? And when it just becomes, I'm just doing this because doing this makes me feel alive and free, and it gives me the best feedback on who I am. That's autotelic.
hmm
And from what you're describing, that seems to be your three lifts in the competition were more like that.
yes, definitely, yeah.
So what did go through your head? Do you remember what went through your head in any of those lifts?
Um, no, I don't really think like when I was like on the platform. I think my brain kind of just switched off. Yeah, my brain did switch off. I
Oh, I'm gonna have to correct you on that one. I think your brain switched on more than it's been switched on.
okay, I don't remember much because yeah, I felt like I don't know. I felt a little bit scattered almost. Like I went up for my first attempt and I forgot to ask for an unrack. I didn't realize until I'd literally
Mm-hmm.
like gone to
You,
start setting up and like I was like, oh, hang on, like wait, I can't unrack this myself. I need to
yeah.
actually ask. And then I think my second lift, I went.
So tell me what you were focused on.
I was visualizing myself. So
Right.
yeah, like I was performing the lift in my head. I was performing the setup. I was yeah, like instead of like before in the warm up area, I was visualizing myself failing. Before I went onto the platform, I was visualizing, I guess, myself succeeding.
Right.
Um,
So now, in terms of the flow cycle, you're really moving well through that release phase.
yes,
Like we know visualization and embodiment is a really, really important way that we uh, really. It's all about lowering the cognitive load. So sometimes can feel scatty, but really you're just trying to focus on three things. And
yes,
for that fourth one, even though it's really important, was just too much.
yeah,
So it's not scatty. It's all right. We've really, really zeroed in now, and all I'm good for is these three things that
yes,
I've got on my
hyper
mind.
focused.
Hyper
Yeah,
focus,
I was definitely
intense,
hyper
constant.
focused on
Right.
the visualization of that lift. And
That's
yeah,
one of the, so two flow characteristics so far: autotelic
yes,
experience, intense focus.
yes, yeah. It happened on my second attempt too. Like I think I started to walk out onto the platform while I was still doing up my wrist wraps, and I know that I can't do that. I know that I can only adjust my belt when I'm on the platform,
Yeah,
and
I remember.
like
I grabbed you by the other wrist, if you
I could
remember.
feel people grabbing me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I I just kept going. Like I think someone actually had to hold me back because I was like, no, I'm doing this. Like,
yeah, that was you look at the video. That was my hand on your shoulder, going, "Hey, chill, just chill,
yeah.
just chill.
And I was like, no,
Got
I'm
time,
ready.
got time."
We've got this. I'm ready. Ready
That's
now.
that hyper focus. I've got
Yeah.
3 things to do. Let me do it. A, B, C. I'm ready.
Yes.
Come on, everybody, get out of my way. Here we go.
Yeah.
What about the third? Same again, or?
I think so after each attempt, like after the first one, where I like forgot task run unrack, I then like as I was visualizing, I included that, and I think we actually did this out loud. I had you and
We
Sarah
did.
with me,
Yep.
and you talked me through what I was going to do, and I then included, I'm going to go out, I'm going to speak to the spotter, tell him what I need him to do for my unrack, set up, grab the bar, press, listen to the calls. Like I actually we said it, and I did it, and I kind of like by the third one I'd kind of like refined my practice, and like the visualization process got more detailed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is for the coaches out there. As soon as we came back inside, that was actually the first thing I asked you. I said, "What are we going to do now? What's the game plan?" But you were still really high arousal at that point. So I'm not surprised that you don't remember doing that 3 times before your first lift.
Yeah.
We talked it through 3 times, and it's just every time me going looking at you going, "Okay, so what are we going to do now?"
Yeah.
It's like, I do the thing with the stuff, and we go like this. It's really important to consider from a coaching perspective what a state of arousal people can get themselves into. Like we can get really, really high arousal, and we need to be very mindful that about 95% of what I was saying or doing probably won't be getting through.
Yeah.
So all the words tend not to get through at that point in time, but what I'm doing physically and me being able to slow my breath, slow my speech, do all the non-verbals in a really calm and relaxed manner, that's about all a coach can do in that point in time to hold space for the athlete.
Yeah.
You weren't the only person during the week that freaked out before their first lifts. There's, there was lots of sessions, lots of people doing it. And the people that didn't come back from it were the people who had the coaches that tried to talk them through it.
Yeah.
Or try and challenge their thoughts for them, or trying to knock them out. At that point in time, our job as coaches is to go, all right, I'm just going to hold people back, give you a big, well, at that point, the car park. No one's going to get in the way. And then we just narrow it down. And I do remember you going through that list a few times before the first one. And then you came back and she goes, I forgot step 1. I missed step 1. I'm like, yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then every iteration then is just another opportunity to fine tune.
Yeah.
Just go, oh, tell them on the second.
Yeah.
And then you started offering, I believe you offered compliments on the second or third.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I think, Sarah's tip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just keep them engaged in the process. Realize that everyone out there is on the same journey as you, and they're meant to be helping you out. It's not it's not a competition between you and the spotters, and it's not a competition between you and the referees.
Yeah.
It's a competition between you and gravity. That one day, hopefully, you'll overcome gravity, and that bar will just keep on floating up, and we'll go, yep, finally did it.
One day.
One day, it'll happen. Gravity's a theory.
Yeah.
So going back through the list, and then the third one, what did you register after the lift?
I don't know. I think it was more just like I did it. Like it was just more just like this thing that I'd worried about for so long. I did it. Despite all my fears, none of them actually happened or came true. Like, it was just, like basically that it's done. I've done it. I had fun. I'm proud of myself. All of those things.
Let's see if we can get that described as a real physical sensation. Maybe behavior if you want. You certainly didn't run off the platform and cartwheel and jump, and it wasn't a big outward demonstration, but you could, like it was really obvious to anybody that was near you how deeply satisfied you looked with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I've never really liked to have like a massive like I'm not like one that like jumps up and usually like yeah, I it's not me. I did do a little like
I've
zoomy lap
had
around the the platform as I like went to thank the reps.
you
But
did.
yeah, I think just
I'm
the way
really
that I
glad
walk.
you're not a jumper or a celebrator, because I've had one person ever try and jump into my arms, and that was Blaine Sumner when he weighed 170 kilos, and I want to leave that as the sole time. I just
Yeah,
special, very
yeah,
special.
yeah. But I guess to describe it as like physical sensations, I yeah, like I was the way that I moved. I felt like I was running around the stage, but I just felt like I had like this endless supply of energy. Like to see a powerlifter run, like that's something special, you know. Like that's yeah. And I kind of like I was so excited that like I couldn't just like walk around the platform. Like I was running around the platform. I got back. I think I just like I felt really like grateful because I came back and I saw you and I saw Sarah and I saw Con and like I felt really like grateful for having you guys there and for getting me through that because like you said, like there were people, lots of people at Bench Worlds who struggled and went through the same feelings that I did. And, you know, I was fortunate that I had, you know, people behind me who could support me and allow that moment to happen. So, yeah.
I was really happy to be part of your moment. I think I said to the team that was left after the last day, um, that's why I coach is just this absolute joy that comes from knowing that most of my big moments as an athlete, they're gone. They're not coming back, but they're really cool moments. I really enjoyed them. I love telling the stories about them. I like learning from them. I like passing them on. But there's something intrinsically uh, special about having someone else go, "Hey, do you want to just walk along on mine for a little while and kind of hang out and watch me?" And I love that. I think it's awesome. So I'm incredibly grateful that you were vulnerable and shared with us and are willing to put your story out there so other people can learn from it as well.
Yeah,
So
of course.
cool gig.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I do want to ask you though, now
Yeah.
on this side of it, all right, now
Yeah.
you know, now you go, all right, I've seen the tools. I kind of get how this works.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with this? And when I say this self-confidence that you've got.
Yeah. I'm really trying to put myself out there more and I guess share my perspective. So I've tried to put myself out there more on social media. I'm not comfortable on a camera, even like being on a podcast. You know, just
Holy
these are
crap.
all.
Yeah, we're on a
Yeah,
podcast right now, aren't we? People are going to
yeah,
listen to this. Some people will even watch this and go, "Oh my
yeah.
god, look at her go!"
But I guess I'm trying to pass on what you know you and Sarah and Con and you know everyone else kind of like taught me. Like you know, I want to pass that on to other people, and yeah, just I guess even beyond the like my performance, just I took a lot away from the whole experience, not just about performance, but about the community aspect and how important that is. And that's something that I didn't comprehend until I actually saw everyone come together for that event. And, you know, just seeing everyone like catch up with each other and, you know, seeing the teams support each other. And that's, I guess, another thing that I took away from it. And it has nothing to do with performance. You know, you don't have to be the best in the team. You can rank 19th in your flight and you will still be accepted by the team. You will still be supported. People will still cheer for you just as loud as, you know, the person who's coming first. Like I think Quinny was cheering louder for me than the person who actually won first place. So I think I'm kind of a winner. Like,
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I thought about when I was sharing this when I was over there, but I thought a week or so, probably a bit better time. One of the uh, you can always kind of tell how good a flight is or how good a session is by how much the bottom 3 or 4 lifters enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
So without, and this is I think we'll get a lot of lifters agreeing with this when they're the people that are last out. So when you're going out in that last 5 and you feel a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectation, all this, and you see the people that have already had their first lifts and they're waiting to go out for their second lift while you're waiting to your first. Their attitude is contagious.
Yeah.
Like if you're moping, that girl that comes first, she's going to have an average day, whether she wins or loses, no matter what. But the energy that you guys give out by going, hell yeah, we all look at us go, we all nailed it, all of us.
Yeah.
We all nailed our openers. Look at us go, yeah, high
Yeah.
five. I'm going to do it again. Look how good I look on camera. Look at me go. People are proud of me. This is all those things that can't be touched because now they're internals. You get to play with them and you get to share them and you get to make other people better just by being a presence. And that's the community aspect of strength that I think is incredibly underrated.
Yeah. That's really cool. And that's something that, like, I look forward to kind of watching more next time now that I can actually, yeah, hopefully be more present at competitions. Those are things that I can focus on as opposed to, trying to distract myself. I can look for those cool things about powerlifting that I love and that, everyone loves about powerlifting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It is a weirdly cool sport for something that's so simple
It's,
and
yeah.
and literally takes almost no effort to be kind of good at.
Yeah.
Like all you need to, I think for most people, if you just turn up to training for a year,
Yep.
and do any template, just the
Yep.
key bit is just do 52 weeks of training. You're probably going to be better than 90% of the population, and you're going to be decent at your sport. If you string 3 years together of training like that, you'll probably be a national champion. You just have to stay injury free. And if you can
Yeah.
do that over 10 years, you'll have a world title. I think that's, I saw you put up a post about time this
Yeah.
afternoon. I think in terms of time, that's as simple as I can break it down for anyone.
Yeah.
A year to be kind of good, 3 years to be really damn
No.
good, and then
Yeah.
10 years to be the best.
Yeah.
But you can't get injured. You can't really take time off. You got to manage everything well. You got to concentrate real hard. You got to, learn to recover and use the flow cycles and do all this kind of stuff. But the one thing you can't hack is how long it takes to be good at anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
All right. So following from here, of all the million things that you've now learned about flow and you're a real flow master, what are you taking away?
Powerlifting is fun.
Powerlifting is fun.
Yeah. That's something I forgot. I've been powerlifting for probably 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've probably forgotten it for at least the last couple of months. So, yeah. Do it because it's fun and because it's powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need to be any other reason, I guess. You don't need to compete because you need redemption for your last comp. You don't need to compete because you have to get the 100 GL points. Compete because it's fun.
And when should you stop?
When it's not fun anymore. Or if your body, your body
right.
tells you to stop.
So, think about some of those M3 lifters that I introduced the team to during the week. The guys that talk about having done this for 42, 43 years and, go, oh, my first Worlds was in 1984. You're like, oh, okay.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah. What did you take from meeting those guys?
They just seemed like they were having so much fun, and a lot of them, they were there to catch up with their friends and, they obviously enjoyed the sport. They still had their passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were passionate about what they did.
That's why I love hearing you say powerlifting is fun, because as long as I think for anybody, and there's the big takeaway, I think, from your story is that what we do is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's weird. And if anybody tells you it's not weird, it's weird to spend that much money to fly to Norway and to Drammen as well. Like
Yeah.
so many people in Oslo would go, "Oh, so we're at the championships." You go, "Drummond," and they go, why?" You
Yeah.
go, "I don't know." Um, it was a fun little town. I enjoyed it there, but it's a small town, a long way from really anywhere. And we went there to do 3 bench presses,
Yes.
overpay for food, take a whole lot of photos of scenery, and then fly home.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing weird about that. And yeah, you're spot on when you say those men and women that have been going for 40 years. Yeah, they're just having the best time.
Yeah.
These guys, when I met them 20 years ago, they were having the best time. That's what attracted them to me in the first place, was that they were just really into what they were doing.
Yeah.
They didn't take much of it seriously. They certainly didn't take themselves seriously. They did it seriously, but then they expressed just so much joy and love for what they did. And I
Yeah.
think that was really what hooked me on going back to world events, especially World Bench. And I think that's for anyone that keeps on coming back, that does really well. It's the community first.
Yeah.
It's not that we're going, what's the word? It's get to. Like, we get to go hang out with these beautiful people that are just as weird as us, and do something um, somewhat beautiful in a place that sells expensive beer.
Yeah.
And there we go. That's the sport of powerlifting.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. No, and I think it's funny because, when you put so much pressure on yourself, you're not enjoying it. When in reality, like, in order to actually get to the top, like you said, a lot of the people at the top have been doing it for a long time. To be able to stick around that long, it has to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because it's certainly not paying bills.
yeah. No, I'm still paying bills from Norway, so.
So now let's give out all your socials and how people can contact you, or want to talk more, or learn from you, or learn how to be a powerlifter. Let's start with in person. If somebody wanted to come see you and get some training, how would they do that?
Yeah, come see me at Performotion. So I'm running some group classes at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We're offering both strength classes and HIIT classes. Uh, I'm really passionate about getting people to train. Not everyone has to be a powerlifter. I've roped so many people into coming to the gym with me just because training is fun, moving your body is fun, and it's good for you. So yeah, if you have anyone who is interested in just coming to the gym and just trying it out, yeah, come see me at Performotion. You can follow me on Instagram at Rachel_Performotion as well.
Cool. And so that was going to be the next question. If people want to follow you, or have you on their podcast to hear your very interesting story about bench pressing and all that kind of stuff, how do they find you?
So yeah, Rachel_Performotion, or it's Rachel. It's because my sister, she used to call me Rachel. So that's why my name has like 7 Y's in it. But
That's
it's
so Queensland.
yeah,
Rachel.
Rachel. But yeah, it's Ray with seven Y's. I don't know why I chose 7. It's just a nice number, and then underscore Chell. So
Okay, there you go.
yep.
And what do you got coming up powerlifting wise for the rest of the year?
I'm actually just enjoying a bit of time to just train, introduce the 3 lifts again.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that a little bit slower now, because yeah, my back told me that we should probably start back slower. Just building back up to the 3 lifts again, and then doing a 3 lift meet in October at Performotion.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be Perf Cup 3. It was so much fun last year. That was a good comp as well.
Any plan for any bench only this year?
I saw you posted up the New Zealand one. I'm thinking about it. That one's in
So there's
November.
Oceania. That's a 3 lift and bench only, I believe.
Yeah.
In terms of the Australian calendar, I think it's October. Can't remember the date. Maybe 12, something like that. Don't quote me. Is the first ever Baxter Bench Bash, having a big bench only comp here at strength club in WA.
When's that again? That's
October, I think. Yeah,
yeah.
it's on the Australian Powerlifting Alliance calendar
Yeah, at Strength Club.
at strength club. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's sure to be fun. And now
Yeah,
you know bench only comps are just wild and fun. It's not real
they are.
powerlifting. It's definitely the rules of powerlifting don't apply. Just about anything goes. You can do whatever you want, and almost anything you want, and get away with it in a bench meet. I love them for that. They're wild and crazy, and
Yeah, yeah.
like the real bench only guys start talking about. I only need one lift. One's
Yeah.
good. I only need to be good once. Um, so we got that. So yeah, so maybe we'll see you at Oceania's. Maybe we'll see you across
Possibly.
here, but you're definitely doing the Perth Cup.
Yes, it sounds like
As
I have.
somebody from as somebody from Perth,
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you accentuate the f. Yeah, I think that's the same weekend as the Baxter Bench Bash.
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think let's see if we can get Jacob and David into a marketing war with one another. Let's see what we can do. Maybe I'll
Oh,
come to Brisbane that weekend.
yeah. I think it's live stream, so
Ooh,
is there
that'll be.
a live stream option for people who want to watch the bench only meet?
Oh, of course there is.
Oh,
Chris
well,
and
I don't want to miss out. So,
Chris Andrews is involved. It'll be the greatest live stream ever. It'll be perfect. It'll be wonderful.
well, people
Um,
listening, make sure you watch.
there you go. There you go. All right. I think that's really the story. I wanted people to hear some of that story, not necessarily the details, because um, the details matter to the individual, but I think the elements matter more to everybody else listening, and so I think that element for you of giving up the struggle and
Yeah.
of just embracing what it feels like to feel really bad and to sit with it and learning not to be distressed. Uh, to watch, to witness that was super cool. So I thank you yet again for letting me be part of that.
Thank you for being part of my story and for giving it the ending that it had. And yeah.
Yeah, I'll stop it there.